My name is Brian Morgan and I work for the Corcoran Group in New York City. In today's video, we're going to talk about the top 3 things that prospective purchasers are looking for when purchasing a home in New York City. Now, some of these might not surprise you, but there have been meaningful changes in the marketplace in the last 5 to 10 years. So we're going to talk about that, and we're also going to talk about what stood the test of time so you can get a sense of what buyers are looking for right now in real time in this market. Location, location, location. Just like any other real estate market, location is paramount, especially in New York City. The difference in New York City is that you can walk 2 blocks in any direction and the neighborhood could change drastically. And those few footsteps can make all the difference, as there are so many factors to consider when picking a location in Manhattan. Whether it be proximity to the parks, to the subway, or whether you want to be near restaurants or near a supermarket or be on a tree-lined street. There are so many options to consider in New York, and as I said before, only a couple of blocks can make all the difference. The landscape is always shifting in New York City because there's so much happening all the time, whether it be the new 2nd Avenue subway or Hudson Yards or a lot of development on the Lower East Side. And now we're seeing all this development that's about to happen in Midtown. As development happens, as change happens, as more building happens, people migrate to different places and it completely changes the dynamic of the city. And it's always a moving target. There are times I have 2 customers with the exact same budget, but they will ultimately get an entirely different product just based on where they decide to move. It's so profound that even 2 or 3 blocks, as I said before, can make all the difference. Something that is 2 blocks north or south, the same exact product, but just a few blocks away, could trade 5, 10, or even 15% more or less than its counterpart. I often have customers that are married to neighborhoods. They say they only want to be in this location or that location. Sometimes they pick 2 or 3. And it does happen where it becomes a situation where they can't find what they want. And when that is the case, there are a few options. One, of course, the easy option, if you can do it, is raise your budget. But that's not in the cards for everybody. So the other option is to maybe change location, because as I said before, you can potentially get a lot more bang for your buck just by shifting a few blocks. The neighborhood I've seen really take a shift over the last 5 to 10 years is the Upper East Side, and that is due to the 2nd Avenue subway. There are a lot of people working on the West Side that never would have considered the Upper East Side, but now with the Q train, it's a much easier commute, and you have West Siders migrating to the East Side. At the end of the day, location always is going to matter, but it matters for different reasons for different people. So, what is it going to be for you? Is it the allure of a certain neighborhood? Is it the commute? Is it having the grocery store, the pharmacy, the dry cleaners all on your block? Or do you have kids that go to the park all the time and having that convenience, is that going to be paramount? It is truly different from everybody, and my job as a real estate agent is to just listen. The more I listen, the more I'm going to get a sense of what's important to my respective customers, and then I'm going to be able to place them in the right apartment for them. Number 2. Light and views. Light and views could never be underestimated in New York City. Since I started this job 20 years ago doing rentals, one of the first things customers say to me is they don't want a dark apartment. So if buyers want light and they want views, how do they not waste time? Well, if they just want light, the first thing I would have my customer look at when I send them a listing is to look in the description and make sure that apartment faces south, because that is where you're going to get the best light in New York City. Now, it doesn't mean it's the best for everybody. Some people want eastern morning sunlight, other people want western evening light. But if you want light all day and you want that blaring sunshine into your apartment, which a lot of people do, you want to face south. The third thing prospective purchasers are looking for going into 2026 is space. And that is a big, big change. We did not see the demand for space prior to COVID. It was important, but it wasn't paramount like it is now. People are no longer willing to squeeze into 1,000 square foot 2 bedrooms. Whereas before COVID, it was the norm. People are willing to live like that. It was just the way it was. It is not like that to the same degree now. It is harder to move those units. The bigger spaces with the lower monthlies are the apartments prospective purchasers are gravitating towards now. And when they're deciding between the suburbs and New York City, while they're never going to get anywhere near the space they're going to get in the suburbs for the same dollar, what they do want at the end of the day is enough space to make it work for their family and not feel cramped. So what's the sweet spot in terms of size? Well, it really depends on your family and what they're looking for. For many years, families have put multiple children in bedrooms. That has not changed. They are still doing that, but they're not going to cramp them into a 1,000 square foot apartment, as I said. I think the sweet spot for square footage right now is probably 1,250, 1,300 square feet, and ideally 1,500 square feet if you could swing it on price. But if you had to give me a number of what people are looking for, they're probably looking for at least 1,200 square feet to fit their families into. And even that, anybody outside of New York City is going to think that's crazy and small. But in New York City and pre-COVID, a lot of families were living in apartments south of 1,100 square feet and they didn't even notice. They're noticing now and things are changing, and that's why people either want more space or they're moving out. So whether it be location, view/light, or space, these are the top 3 things my purchasers are looking for going into 2026. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or renting in 2025 or going into 2026, give me a call. Happy to discuss all of your real estate needs and share with you what I'm seeing in the marketplace right now in real time.